Good morning, students. Today we are here to analyze another salt. I've already analyzed for one salt. I've named that salt number 1. So let's call this salt number 2. Okay. Now we'll be analyzing this particular salt. Okay. So again, the experiment is divided into 3 parts: preliminary analysis, analysis of acid radicals, and analysis of basic radicals. Let's do the preliminary analysis first. So we have the salt here. First we have to test for the state of the salt. Okay. Okay, I'm pretty sure the camera can't capture this, but anyway, this salt looks like a table salt or the kitchen salt that we use, and even to the touch it feels like the table salt, and hence we'll be calling this salt crystalline. Okay, so the state of the salt is crystalline. Color is as you can see, the colorless white, or you should also call it, you have to call it colorless. Since it is white, we'll be calling it colorless. So the state of the salt is crystalline and it is colorless. Okay. Now let's test for the solubility of the salt. So take a small quantity of the salt, add up to 3 to 4 ml of water in the test tube, or approximately 1/4 of the test tube should be filled with water or the respective solvent. Okay. Shake it well. Now as you can see, all the salt has been dissolved in water, and hence our given salt is soluble in cold water. Okay. So I've already written that state is crystalline, color is colorless, and the solubility, it is soluble in cold water. Okay. So I've already written that. Now what we'll be doing is, we'll be moving on to the second part of the analysis, which is determination of acid radicals. Okay. So I'll be determining the acid radical that is present in the salt. Okay. So that's our agenda. Let's start with the first group, determination of first group acid radicals. What we'll be doing is, we'll take a small quantity of the salt in a test tube, and if we observe brisk effervescence, then it means carbonate is present. Okay. So I'm taking a small quantity of the salt and I'm adding dilute HCl to this. Okay. Yeah. Dilute hydrochloric acid. Okay, if you observe brisk effervescence, then it means carbonate is present. Okay, as you can see, there is no brisk effervescence, there is no reaction happening at all. With dilute HCl, there is no reaction, and hence you can say that carbonate is absent. Okay, first group acid radical, carbonate is absent. So now we'll be moving on to the second group acid radical. We'll be testing for second group acid radical. Again, the test is very simple. We'll just be adding concentrated sulfuric acid to the small quantity of the salt that we'll be taking in the test tube. Okay, so this is a dry test tube. Also remember, while you're doing test for second group acid radicals, we are dealing with concentrated sulfuric acid. It is very it's a very strong acid, so we have to be using dry test tube, or else it will react with water and the reaction will be vigorous, and hence we'll be using a dry test tube. Okay, to this dry test tube I'll add a small quantity of the salt. Okay, and to this we'll be adding concentrated sulfuric acid. Also, since I told you concentrated sulfuric acid is very dangerous, it's better for you to use a test tube holder. Okay, I'm using a test tube holder, and to this I'll be adding concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, before adding concentrated sulfuric acid, you should know what would happen. Okay, if different radicals are present, you should know what would happen. So if as soon as I add concentrated sulfuric acid, if you are getting dense white fumes, okay, if you are observing dense white fumes, then it means chloride might be present. Okay, that is the first observation. Secondly, if you are getting reddish brown fumes after adding concentrated sulfuric acid, then it means bromide might be present. So these two are in cold condition: dense white fumes, chloride radical; reddish brown fumes, bromide radical. Okay, if you are not getting any observation in cold condition, what we'll be doing is, we'll be heating this test tube. Okay, after heating this test tube, if you are getting you'll be heating this test tube by adding a small paper pellet. After heating, if you are observing reddish brown fumes again, then it means that nitrate radical might be present. Okay, so now let's perform the analysis. I've added small quantity of the salt to the test tube. To this I'll add concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, I have concentrated sulfuric acid over here. I'll just be adding small quantity of this to the test tube. Okay, as you can see, there is no reaction happening. I am not observing any dense white fumes, or I am not observing any reddish brown fumes. There is no reaction at all. So in cold condition there is no reaction. Okay, so both chloride and bromide are absent. Chloride is absent because there is no dense white fumes. Bromide is absent because there is no reddish brown fumes. Alright, so in cold condition both are absent. Now what we'll be doing is we'll be adding a small paper pellet. I have now made a ball using a small paper ball, paper sheet. Now to this test tube I'll be adding the small paper pellet and we'll be heating this. Okay. As you can see, there is nothing happening here. I'm just getting some black solution. This is actually because of charring of the paper ball. There is nothing happening, right? I mean, you can't observe any reddish brown fumes, right? You have to observe at the walls of the test tube. If you notice carefully, there is no reddish brown vapors or fumes, and hence you can say even nitrate is absent. Okay. So in the second group, all the three radicals, chloride is absent, bromide is absent, and nitrate is absent. So now we'll be moving on to the third group, acid radical. Okay. So the test for third group acid radical is again very simple. What we'll be doing is we'll be taking the small quantity. We'll be taking a small quantity of the salt. We'll be making a solution out of it. Meaning we'll be making salt solution. To the salt solution, we'll be adding barium chloride solution. Okay. So first, let's take a small quantity of salt. We'll make a solution out of it by dissolving it with its respective solvent. The solvent to this salt is water, because we have performed solubility and we have determined that they are soluble in cold water. Now I have added salt to this test tube, and I also added some water. I have dissolved this salt completely in this water. Now to this solution we will be adding barium chloride. Okay. If you are getting a thick white precipitate, it means sulfate might be present. Okay. So I have barium chloride solution here. Barium chloride, I will be adding this to the test tube. As you can see, I am getting a thick white precipitate. In order to confirm that it is indeed barium, we will be adding excess of HCl. Okay, we will be adding excess of dilute HCl to this. If the precipitate is insoluble in excess of dilute HCl, then it confirms sulfate. Okay, so I have dilute HCl here. I will try to dissolve this precipitate. If it is insoluble, if the precipitate is insoluble in excess of dilute HCl, then it confirms SO4 2-. As you can see, the precipitate is insoluble. I am still getting the precipitate is insoluble, is still white, and hence you can say that sulfate is present and confirmed. Okay. Now I will be writing this on the board, and I will tell you how to proceed further. Okay. So that's what I've written, people. Firstly, we started with the preliminary test. I told you the salt was crystalline in nature, hence crystalline. The color was colorless, and it was soluble in cold water, and hence I've ticked this box. Don't tick any of the box, or just don't cross any of the box. Just leave it blank, okay? Because if you are crossing it, I told you what it means in the previous video. So after this, we moved on to the analysis of acid radicals. We first started with analysis of first group acid radical. That's what I've written. The test was salt plus dilute HCl. We observed that there was no brisk effervescence, and which basically indicates that first group acid radical, that carbonate, was absent. Okay, and then we moved on to the second group acid radical. What we did there was we added salt and concentrated sulfuric acid. In cold condition, I did not observe colorless gas, which means chloride was absent, and I also did not observe reddish brown fumes or reddish brown vapors, which means bromide was absent. After that, we added a small paper pellet to the test tube, to the same test tube, and we heated it. And even there, I did not observe any reddish brown fumes, which basically indicates nitrate is absent. After that, we moved on to third group acid radical. Here we took salt solution. To that, we added barium chloride solution, after which we observed a white precipitate. Okay. So after this, we also added excess of dilute HCl. And we saw that the precipitate was insoluble in excess of dilute HCl, which basically indicates sulfate is present and it is confirmed. Okay. Now we'll be moving on to the third part of the analysis, which is analysis of basic radicals. Okay, here before moving on to before getting into the analysis, we have to prepare original solution like always. So taking a test tube, adding salt to this test tube. Just make sure that original solution is a concentrated solution. Okay, I'm adding enough salt and I'll be dissolving this with water. Since water is my solvent, I am dissolving it in water. If dilute HCl is your solvent, you have to dissolve it in dilute HCl. Okay, as you can see, I have prepared the original solution. From now on, all the tests will be done with this. Okay. Now let's test for the zeroth group basic radical, which is ammonium ion. Okay. So what is the test? The test is again very simple. We'll take small quantity of the salt and we'll add sodium hydroxide to it. If we get a pungent odor, it indicates ammonium plus or NH4 plus ion. Okay. So small quantity of the salt is added to sodium hydroxide. Okay, I'll add the sodium hydroxide to small quantity of the salt. Shake it well. Okay, you have to see if you are getting a pungent odor. Since I'm not getting a pungent odor, it basically indicates that ammonium ion is absent. So we have to move on to the first and second group, or we have to move on to the rest of the groups. Okay. I think you already know this, that your salt will not contain the radicals which are in first and second group. That is basically because we will not be giving you salts which contain radicals of first and second group. So we will be directly moving on to the third group basic radical analysis. Okay. For the analysis, what we will be doing is we will be taking original solution. To original solution, we will add NH4Cl and NH4OH. Okay, NH4Cl solid and NH4OH. So this is original solution. Take a small quantity of original solution, about 0.5 ml. To this, I'll add NH4Cl solid. So I have ammonium chloride solid here, ammonium chloride. I'll add this to the test tube, to the original solution, and I'll also add ammonium hydroxide. Okay, so this is ammonium hydroxide. After adding ammonium hydroxide, if you get a precipitate, if you are getting a gelatinous white precipitate, it indicates aluminium. As you can see, I am not getting any precipitate, which basically indicates aluminium is not present. So third group basic radical, aluminium is absent. So now we'll move on to the fourth group basic radical, basic radicals. Here the test is again very simple. We'll be adding original solution. Take original solution. To this again you have to add NH4Cl, NH4OH and H2S. Okay. Actually, the best way to do this is just to add H2S to the test tube. Before this, I performed an experiment before this, right? We tested for third group basic radicals. Could have just added H2S to that, but I forgot. So I am doing the experiment again. Anyway, so I've taken original solution. To this I've added NH4Cl. Now we'll be adding NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, and add H2S to this. If you're getting a white precipitate, or if you're getting a precipitate, it indicates that fourth group radicals are present. Let's see if we get a precipitate. There's hydrogen sulfide H2S. I'll add this to the test tube. See, I'm not getting any precipitate, which basically indicates fourth group basic radicals are absent. So now we'll move on to the fifth group basic radicals. Okay. So take a test tube, take original solution, small quantity of original solution in this. To this, add NH4Cl, NH4OH and ammonium carbonate solution. Okay, so NH4Cl solid, okay, NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, and you also add ammonium carbonate. So this is ammonium carbonate, add ammonium carbonate to this. If you are observing a white precipitate, it indicates 5th group basic radicals. As you can see, I did not get any white precipitate, which basically indicates there is no 5th group basic radicals, or 5th group basic radicals are absent. So now we will be moving on to the 6th group basic radical. For 6th group basic radical, there is no specific reagent. We will be directly doing a confirmatory test. Okay, 6th group basic radicals has magnesium. Okay, we will have magnesium in the 6th group basic radical. So we will directly be doing confirmatory test for magnesium. Alright. To this, what we will be doing is we will be taking original solution again. So the original solution. To the original solution, we will add NH4Cl, ammonium chloride, ammonium hydroxide, and we will also be adding sodium phosphate. Okay, so first let's add ammonium chloride. Now we will add ammonium hydroxide, and finally ammonium phosphate. Sorry, not ammonium phosphate, sodium phosphate. So this is sodium phosphate. As soon as I add sodium phosphate, if I am observing a white precipitate, it indicates magnesium. Okay, magnesium is present and confirmed. As you can see, I am getting a white crystalline precipitate. Okay, I am not sure if the camera can capture this, but yeah, I am getting a white crystalline precipitate, which basically indicates magnesium is present and confirmed. Now we know both are radicals. The acid radical that we have is sulfate, and the basic radical that we have is magnesium. Now I will be telling you as to how to write this in your answer sheet. Okay. So guys, I just finished writing whatever we just analyzed. We started with basic radicals. First we prepared the original solution. Preparation of original solution: salt plus water. We dissolved salt in the solvent, which is water. After that, we started with the 0th group basic radical, which is ammonium. We added salt, and then we added sodium hydroxide. We did not get any pungent odor of ammonia, which means 0th group basic radical ammonium is absent. After that, we moved on to the first group and second group. I told you that first group and second group basic radicals won't be given for you, so we did not analyze first and second. But even though we did not analyze, we have to write it in the answer sheet. Okay, so that's why I've written original solution is dilute HCl. We did not get any precipitate. Even though you are not performing, we just have to write. Okay, so there is no precipitate absent. First group basic radical absent. Second group basic radical analysis is original solution plus dilute HCl plus H2S. We did not get any precipitate, so second group basic radicals are absent. After that, we moved on to the third group basic radical analysis. Original solution plus NH4Cl plus NH4OH. Did not get any precipitate, so third group basic radicals absent. Moved on to the fourth group, original solution NH4Cl, NH4OH plus H2S gas, H2S liquid. Did not get any precipitate, hence fourth group basic radical is also absent. Fifth group basic radical analysis, original solution plus NH4Cl plus NH4OH plus ammonium carbonate. Did not get any precipitate, hence fifth group is also absent. Finally, there is no group reagent for the sixth group basic radical, like I've already mentioned. So you might think that it might be ilelu sikkida, so ille irbeku anta ನೀವು ಅನ್ಕೊಂತೀರಾ. So therefore sixth group basic radical magnesium may be present. In order to confirm that, we have to do a CT. So confirmatory test for magnesium. What did we do? We took original solution, we added NH4Cl, NH4OH and ammonium phosphate. We got a white precipitate, which basically indicates magnesium is confirmed, present and confirmed. Okay, so this is how you represent it in your answer sheet as well. Now I'll be showing you how to write the report. Okay, so guys, I've written the report. In the report I know how, I'm pretty sure you guys know how to write. First the acid radical, basic radical, acid radical was sulfate, basic radical was magnesium, just write as sulfate and magnesium. And finally we have to write in which group we found the magnesium and sulfate. Sulfate was present in the third group acid radical and magnesium is present in the sixth group acid radical. This is sixth. Sixth group, magnesium is sixth group basic radical, and just combine these two and write the name of the salt. First write the basic radical, first you have to write the basic radical and then move on to the acid radical, and hence given salt is magnesium sulfate. Okay, so hence the given salt is magnesium sulfate. Okay, so I'll end the session now. I'll see you guys in the next salt.